So we're going to go over a consultation to decide which peel we're going to do for Kim. So first I'm just going to tie back her hair. Kim, have you ever had a peel done before?
Not a peel like this.
Okay. So there's all different sorts of peels. There's peels that are basically just changing the skin cells themselves, and there's also peels that are going to actually peel off the skin. Now, if the person's skin doesn't peel or does peel, they're still getting an effective facial. But more peels, there are peels that will peel the skin more than others. So with Kim's skin, she does have some hyperpigmentation here that you can see. The hyperpigmentation are the little dark spots. There's a few just basic aging for the skin. So honestly, almost any peel that we would give to her would be beneficial, but today we're going to do the Jessner Peel since it is one of the deeper peels that we offer here at the spa. So before we get started with that, I'm going to go over the information here, which is our pre and post care information. This information is on our website, available on the facial treatments page. So the client can take this home with them after their service and also read this information available on our website at any time. So before a facial, a person should not be very active that day before or after the facial treatment, just because the extra blood flow and heat going through the body isn't going to make the peel feel any better. The post feeling of a peel almost feels like you were in the sun, like a sunburn, almost like a windburn sensation. So if you were in the wind or in the sun before or after, that's obviously going to exacerbate that feeling. So before a facial, you want to make sure to not do any waxing. That's pre and post. So if we did some waxing, we'd want to wait at least 48 hours before we did a peel, because you don't want to over exfoliate the skin. And that goes for after the facial as well, because you don't want to over exfoliate or cause any unnecessary redness or skin lifting. So you want to make sure that the client hasn't done any waxing. Have you done any waxing? Perfect. Do you use any retin-A's or any exfoliating products on your skin at home?
Not recently.
Okay. So you want to make sure that your client hasn't used any extreme exfoliants on their skin at home for at least 3 to 5 days before their facial. Although that being said, it's always important that a person has experienced some degree of chemical peels on their skin before they get a serious peel, because the more ready that the skin is to receive a peel, the better result you're going to get. So if the person's been using a glycolic acid or a retinol on their skin at home, that's great. It's preparing their skin for a better result, but they want to give up using that product for at least 3 days before their real chemical peel here in the spa. And that would go for, say, a microderm treatment as well. So if somebody says, I just used retin-A last night, you probably don't want to do a microderm or a waxing on them, because extra skin is going to lift. So you would go over that information with them. So you want to let them know what to expect before and after their peel. And when your client comes in that day, they're going to be filling out our new client form. The facial section is up here. It goes over a few questions that are important for our peel process and our facials. So one of the questions is, do you have any allergies or skin sensitivities or skin conditions? Do you have any of those? No? Okay, so if a person has sensitive skin, they're probably not a great candidate for a facial peel, because the peel's going to feel extra irritating on their skin. Although we can do a more mild peel, and we can get into that later, maybe doing the multivitamin peel treatment rather than say the Jessner or glycolic. So she has regular skin. Have you had a chemical peel, microdermabrasion, laser treatment, or any skin resurfacing treatment within the last month?
Yes, microderm.
Okay, so Kim and I actually did a microderm a couple weeks ago, and that's completely fine. As long as it's been about 7 days since their last skin resurfacing treatment, it'll be okay to get another facial. Now, if she had said yes to, say, a laser treatment, I would be more concerned about doing another peel, because that's done at a medical facility and it's going a lot deeper into their skin. But for today's purposes, getting a microderm done 7 days ago isn't a concern to me. If when I look at her skin and I see any open skin from a past treatment, then I would avoid those areas, or just talk to the client about that issue and see if it's something that's been there. Maybe they're picking at it and it's not able to heal, or maybe it's from their last facial treatment that you did, hopefully not, but maybe somewhere else, and you can just let them know that that's there, so it's not like a surprise later for you or the client. Another question is, have you used Retin A or been exfoliating your skin in the last week?
No.
Okay, so that goes in again to that Retin A question. This is important because we want to make sure we're not doing anything that's too extra damaging to the person's skin by over exfoliating their skin. So you can see a lot of these concerns are going to be about, could we possibly damage their skin from any of the services we're doing during their facial, which would include the cleansing, the extractions, the exfoliation. The massage probably won't hurt a person's skin, but maybe the pressure, if somebody bruises easily, that would be an important thing to know, because if you do any suction massage, or you'd want to not do super hard pressure, you want to keep your pressure more light. So that's why knowing more about your client is important. One of our final questions here is, are you pregnant or lactating?
Nope.
No. So this is an important question because when you're pregnant, your skin's going to first be more sensitive to, or it can be more sensitive to anything that's done to it. And another reason is that if somebody says they're pregnant, you shouldn't even be doing a peel altogether. If somebody is pregnant, I'll recommend either doing the microderm treatment if they're not sensitive, or I will recommend just doing the deep cleansing facial. At the end of the day, you want the person's skin to be improved from this treatment and not do something that's going to be more harmful for them. There are people who will say, no, it's okay, I've had this done before, I want to do it. You as a therapist can just say, I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable doing this service, and if they can be upset, but at least you're not going to be putting your license on the line or potentially hurting them without them being aware that we were actually right. And for pregnant women, basically, if you put a chemical on your body, it's able to go inside your body and maybe get into the fetus. So that's the reason why they say don't do any chemical peels while you're pregnant or lactating, because if you're breastfeeding, the same thing goes with the output of that chemical potentially into the baby. So you would want to inform your client about that if they did check yes for being pregnant, and you could just offer a different service. Okay, so that goes into our facial questions. On the back side of our form, there is some information for your client to know. This is the facial and peel consent. So these are basically, yes, I agree to this service. Yes, I know what can happen. Yes, I know where I can find the pre and post information. So we just want to make sure that the person has signed all of the back of the form as well, and that they are aware of what's in the back of the form. So those are the two information sheets that you should be aware of if somebody is receiving a facial, and especially if they're getting a peel, you want to make sure that they know about those issues. Okay. So to start our peel, we're going to do our deep cleansing protocol, which is going to be our, our double cleansing protocol, which is going to be our pre-cleanse followed by the secondary cleanser. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that.